Here they come. Good crowd in. They've been waiting to see Higgins, of course. One of the greats of Scottish snooker. One of the greats of snooker, full stop. But Ricky Walden has plenty of big-time experience himself, a winner of 3 ranking titles. Higgins has been a bit inconsistent this season. He's put together some really good performances. At other times he's struggled. He hasn't lost a first-round match in any tournament, and he has been in a couple of semi-finals, but obviously he's looking for another trophy to add to his collection. So playing for a place in the last 16. It's best of 7. John Higgins to get us underway.
John Higgins to break.
John Higgins on home soil in Scotland, breaking off in frame 1. He was runner-up to Marco Fu in the first Home Nations version of the Scottish Open back in 2016. And Ricky Walden, 24 in the world currently. He's been as high as 6, but of course he did fall away because of various health issues. We've seen him already, of course, this season reach the quarterfinals in Belfast at the Northern Ireland Open.
Still a good position in the rankings, though, isn't it? 24. You know, he has fallen away, but that's not having fallen off the page or anything. And I think everyone knows what a tough player he is to beat because he plays the game properly, and no doubt his overall record against John suggests he can beat him again. Especially the way that John was yesterday. You know, he did win, but not impressively. A little bit frustrated at times. Ultimately, he got a 4-1 win.
Well, they were saying in the interview his mother upbraided him for banging his cue into the floor last night.
Dear me. Well, I don't think the black goes. I mean, he comes sheepishly round to see if it does. Maybe it's closer than it first looked, but of course he played the safety shot, which he got wrong. The red went in, and the black doesn't go. Otherwise, that might have been a little bit difficult to take. And landing on that.
Walden, 1.
A couple of latecomers taking their seats and been waiting patiently for this match. Higgins is ranking 12, so he's just fallen a few places because, of course, it's a 2-year rolling system and points come off. He did have that terrific season a couple of years ago, and that's why it'd be interesting to watch how his sort of ranking goes this season, because of course he's been in the top 16 since 1995, unbroken. That's a record. Wants to keep it going. It's going to be certainly in the first couple of Players Series events, so he can earn points obviously in those. Doesn't want to be getting to the April and having to qualify for the Crucible.
Yeah, without having got a list of his rankings over the years in front of me, I can't think he's been as low as 12 for a while. Yeah, most players would be delighted to be that sort of position in the rankings, well in the 16. As you say, Dave, not been out for a while, but 12, I don't think he's been that low for a period of time.
No, I mean, it's incredible, actually, to have been in the top 16 for getting on now for 29 years.
I mean, it really is. You know, people think that, you know, these top 16 players, there was a period of time going back couple of decades where they were quite well protected in that position in the rankings. The rankings used to update once a year, and you'd even get points for losing in the first round if you came into the tournaments later, but it's not been like that for a good while. You see that cue ball drop in. There's not so much protection now. If you stay in the 16, you've done it completely on merit every time.
Well, even if he's not at his best, he can still find ways to win. And if he is at his best, then watch out. I think what's annoyed him of late is just the inconsistency. We saw it at the UK Championship. He played well against Joe O'Connor and then not well at all in losing to Zhou Yulong.
Yeah, I'd say the other thing that's annoyed him as well is that the amount of very close finishes he's lost out in, and maybe a lot of those from in winning positions as well. They were not really in keeping with the bulk of his career.
Well, big early shot here. Yeah, nicely done.
He'll continue to play the right shots, I think, all of his playing days. Can't see that changing.
4.
Plays all the percentage shots. Doesn't take any undue risks, or very rarely. I think what's just crept into his game is that the odd ball gets missed now that he can't really explain, which is an age thing. Mostly, he's still very effective.
Well, one of his great experiences as a boy, sort of learning about snooker, was actually going to the old Lang's Scottish Masters to watch Alex play Jimmy. You can imagine what sort of atmosphere that was. Alex Higgins and Jimmy White, that is. And I suppose you can't fail in that environment to be gripped by the sport and want to be part of it.
12.
There's Zhang Anda, who is certainly gripped by it at the moment. He had that wonderful win and performance against Judd Trump yesterday, just underlining how well he's playing at the moment. International champion, of course.
$13.
Not all players would be in the arena, would they, if they're not playing, but he's keeping an eye on things. He'll be in action again tomorrow against Si Jiewei.
$20. 21.
That's a good split. Now, he deserves to be on one. Well, not sure the red to the right, the blue goes to the left middle. It'll certainly go up the table into the top left pocket, but maybe that's all he's got if it doesn't go to the middle. Well, it will go, but cue ball drifting naturally down to bulk. He might be playing this in the end. He's got a feeling he does go in the middle, but I'm pretty sure he's playing this up into the top left pocket. Well, he did play it in there, but didn't get close to it. Quite a long way away from that one, John, there. I don't think that'll please him too much. So Walden with a pretty healthy chance here.
Yeah, he got to the quarterfinals here last year in Edinburgh, lost to Joe O'Connor.
9.
Quite an imposing character around the table. Obviously, he's tall, just has a presence at the table.
Yes, and I wouldn't call him a quick player, but he's very quick on the actual shot. Once he decides of his shot, he basically just points the cue and hits it. You see, the preparation's long, but he can be
17.
fairly swift on the shot itself.
Three. $24.
To make it into a frame-winning chance. Those couple of reds on the right. There's a couple of looks at them.
29.
They will both go to the right corner, but he's probably looking further down the line, playing on them. Might feel that he'd be able to reach this without the rest, I think. I mean, he's an okay rest player, but I don't think he's as good as one or two of the others we've seen. So, preferring to put his hand on the table,
30.
get an extension on his cue. If you're going to win a match like this against John Higgins, you've got to pick up the pieces from the Higgins miss here, set him off to a good start.
$37. 38. $45. 46.
Well, his attentions will definitely be turning to the couple of reds now. Lead of 21, so probably red-pink goes to 28. Might be able to take a red with the black and leave
52.
John needing a snooker.
53. $59.
Well, the left-hand red, just a natural to just run it in without any great pace on it and hold for the black. Give it every chance, and the black's frame ball, barring a snooker. Of course, John Higgins actually lost a frame at the start of his match yesterday against Hey Jia Chang, where his opponent needed 2 snookers to tie. Somehow beat John Higgins in that frame. I don't think John will be getting the snookers here. Certainly if this red is rolled in, it's all done this first frame. It's been a very good break from Ricky Walden, this, from that mistake of John's. He's made them well.
Higgins was looking good, wasn't he? I thought he spoke well. He was looking in a good mood before it all began, but that miss has been very costly. Walden's punished.
Yeah, he spoke well, but it only takes a couple of bad shots and you can feel as bad as you did the day before. You know, he sets a very high standard for himself, John. I think, and he can get a bit down in the dumps these days if it's not going to be right. It's too early to say that this match is going that way. He's just lost the first frame, that's all.
Ricky Walden, 75 and a frame.
The more concern, really, is how well Walden's played from Higgins' perspective. 75 the break from the Englishman to lead 1-0. Well, an interesting start here. John Higgins made the running, broke down. Ricky Walden stepped in with a 75 break to win the opening frame. Still 3-3. Mark Selby and Matt Selt are involved in a bit of a marathon decider. Not much in it. On table 2, of course, Ding Junhui and Tom Ford have got to go on there afterwards. He didn't play because I think he was hoping his match would be held over to the venue.
Yeah, difficult one that, isn't it? I mean, Steve Maguire, thankfully, he didn't need the points to get into events that follow in the new year. Part of the Players' Series, which he might have done, but his season finished pretty quickly. He didn't play in the shootout either, but he has enough points for the World Grand Prix. But had that been in doubt, may have regretted the decision.
Yeah, it's always a tricky one, deciding whether certain players should get that dispensation. In Germany, actually, they've announced the draw for the German Masters. Lucas Kleckers, he will be playing at the Tempodrome because he's drawn Judd Trump. So that'll be very interesting. Great atmosphere guaranteed there, I'm sure. For Germany's professional to play in Berlin against Trump. That's at the end of next month.
Yeah, it's one of the great events on the calendar, isn't it? I always really rate the German Masters. And of course now 7 days instead of the previous 5 it used to be played over. So terrific event there in Berlin. I'm sure we'll get great crowds. Played that sort of shaped safety shot round the angle. It's figure of 8, they call it. It's not really quite a figure of 8, but it's the sort of wide safety shot played with side. Oh, that's a lovely shot. It was just so nicely struck. Something which can inspire confidence in a player when those go in. You can hit these all wrong and miss them by a mile if you're not hitting the cue ball centrally. Yeah, the red by the black will go, and that's a nice red to be on here. That really opens up things at the black end.
7.
Of course, he's in first in the opening frame, but eventually broke down on 28.
15.
Times this season he's played really well. I mean, he was, of course, at the English Open 5-2 up to Trump in the semi-finals. There was just one shot, wasn't there? He tried to get on the yellow, didn't quite get on it, and then Trump won that frame and completely went on the attack for the rest of the match. He played well also at the Champion of Champions to get to the semis, just didn't quite produce it against Mark Allen all through their match, lost 6-2.
23.
Well, he's freed a couple of reds in the process of playing on that one by his bridge hand. Good look for the spider, I think, front of the table here. Got a few of the reds in the bunch, just in the way of queuing. Did well there. Got underneath the cue ball enough to stun it in and not put topspin on. So he's nicely on the black.
31.
Of course, he's just seen his great contemporary Ronnie O'Sullivan win a 40th ranking title 30 years after his first.
38.
John Higgins won his first a year after that, 94, the Grand Prix. So far, 31, but the last one was nearly 3 years ago now. It was the Players' Championship in early 2021, where he played just unbelievable snooker.
39.
Well, he is the one of the three players integral in the class of 92 that is basically, if you like, stopped winning. As you mentioned, it's that a while ago now, coming up 3 years. Because obviously Mark Williams won the British Open at the early part of the season. But when he did win the Players' Championship, I think it was during one of the lockdowns, but he looked like he was going to win everything at that time. He won it so convincingly.
45.
But nothing since. Not ranking anyway.
No, he had those near misses in those finals. And, of course, as I say, those points coming off during the course of this season, that's why his ranking is sort of a little bit in peril. Oh, where's the white? Okay.
Yeah, you know that there's always a chance of you sort of rebounding off the bunch and into the middle pocket on those. He is okay, but the next shot from there on his colour, it's a bit tricky. You know, you've got only see the top of the ball. Can't use anything but topspin. I've seen these miss before.
Higgins, 46.
46, all very well, but it won't count for anything if Walden can knock a red and get on the black here.
Yeah, it felt a bigger shot, the fact the reds are all in play, and also, of course, he was in front in the first frame. And Walden stepped in, made the winning clearance. Or the winning break, anyway. Chance to do the same here.
1. 68.
Wow, goodness.
Walden, 8.
His shot was very close to the blue, and I think he was a little uncomfortable trying to arch his back almost to ensure that he didn't. I was going to call it a waistcoat foul, but just the shirt, not wearing waistcoats. That was a chance for Walden. I mean, it really was, despite the fact that he was best part of 40 behind. It was certainly a chance.
Yeah, it could be a very significant moment in the match, depending on how it pans out, of course. But Higgins, you know, was contemplating going 2-0 down, having had chances in both frames. But now he's back at the table with a useful lead. Red's in the open. It would be special, I think, for him if he could win the Stephen Hendry Trophy. He practiced with Stephen when Higgins, was a teenager. That was invaluable experience. I'm sure a lot of it was picking balls out, but he would have learnt a lot. People that maybe don't realise just what a sensation Hendry was, because you go back to the very first World Team Cup at the end of the 70s, Scotland didn't have a team.
17.
They had a few professionals, but they were not high up the rankings. But obviously all that changed with Hendry's emergence. And John Higgins, as well, has become an all-time great of the game. And he's determined to keep going. Says he wants to be in the top 16 when he's 50. Currently
94.
48. So that miss from Walden, significant certainly in this frame and maybe in the overall match itself. There was the miss, as that blue just under his shirt was the issue. Wasn't quite comfortable on the shot.
$40. 41.
In two pretty good frames, basically. Just a couple of balls missed. One went punished, the other
49.
one unpunished by Walden. It seems easy when the frame is like that.
54. 56.
I think it'll be an interesting match, this. Higgins clearly favourite, but you feel that Walden has got a chance tonight, and his overall record suggests he knows it too, because
59.
he's beaten John enough times.
$63.
Well, delighted to get the second chance in this frame, and he's taken it well.
$68.
So many narratives still in play in this tournament, and one of them, of course, would be the return to the winner's circle. John Higgins, where better to do it than Scotland?
74.
So an 81 clearance from the misread from Ricky Walden. It was Higgins, of course, who missed that tricky blue earlier. It didn't cost him. He's taken out the clearance. It's 1-1 between John Higgins and Ricky Walden. Walden won the opener. Higgins frame 2, playing for place in the last 16 of the Scottish Open here in Edinburgh. Last tournament of the year. Mark Selby and Matt Selt still 3-3. They're having a long battle on the yellow. And Lou Hyashin and Lou Hongyu are underweights, 1 each, and the winner of that match plays the winner of the match we're watching here. Liam Graham and Sanderson Lamb just getting underway in their match. And of course, his match is still to go on. Ding and Tom Ford will follow the Selby-Selt match at some point.
Yes, that battle on the yellow in the deciding frame. I think about 18 minutes I'll make it without anyone having potted the yellow since he got onto that ball.
Yeah, big day tomorrow, isn't it? If you can get through, then you'll be here on Friday to play in the quarterfinals. And I think that's when in the home nations players start to sort of fancy their chances. Some players will have to play twice tomorrow.
I had a little look at it. The kiss on the black ball was not really favourable.
Yellow ball. Three. Four.
Nice shot there through the gap between the blue and the red. He's now going to pot.
8. Nine. Fourteen. Keep the noise down, please. Thank you.
Yeah, you just saw the handshake in the background. Matt Selt has actually won that match against Mark Selby. Mark Selby potted the yellow and the green and then missed, well, a pretty straightforward brown. And Matt Selt has taken the match out. Great win for him. It's been a good day for Matt, hasn't it? Because he earlier on today got elected to the WPBSA board. And now he's beaten the 4 times world champion. So all round, a good day for the Essex man.
Thank you. 23.
Just a bit of movement, I think, across the way on that other table, which was the Matt Selt victory over Mark Selby table. Maybe in John's eye line.
$31.
Again, little glance across at the possible movement on his eye line. Anyway, he's not been put off, thankfully.
Yes, it's open plan, isn't it? And obviously they have to, you know, prep the table for the next match, Ding and Tom Ford. So you can see, nice big arena here. But between matches, you will get maybe the odd distraction. What he has seen, though, because he would have seen what happened there, one of them, his main rivals in this event, Mark Selby's out. Of course, Luca Bracel is out.
37.
Quite a few other big hitters already gone. So, in terms of established winners, John Higgins is towards the top of the list now, left in it. Karen Wilson still here, of course. Ding.
38.
Yeah, last year's winner is still going, isn't he? Gary Wilson, despite a few moments in his match today where he could have easily lost. I think that would be a feat, wouldn't it, for someone who's a first-time winner of an event last year to go and win the self-same event the next year with nothing in between or for all the years before. Make me think that he liked the venue here in Edinburgh.
43.
Wilson was to do it. I think the best 2 performances I've seen so far this week. Zhang Anda, clearly, against Judd Trump. And that was excellent the way he played. And Karen Wilson earlier today was superb in his 4-0 win. Higgins looking to be on something here. I wonder if the 2 reds have blocked each other here. There was nothing wrong with the shot he played.
51.
I'm just not sure what goes there on that left side anyway. Yeah, I think he's been unlucky. 2 reds to the left middle have blocked each other off. So this one now on the right, the one directly above the pink, probably down into the green pocket, or is he even... I don't think he's refusing it, which does surprise me. Pushing it onto the cushion, percentage-wise, yes. But
John Higgins.
John Higgins,
51.
who's with confidence, I'm sure would have taken that red on.
Just to say that decider, Selton Selby, 76 minutes. So it was a right old battle, and it looked like Selby yet again had sort of broken the back of it, missed the brown, and Matsell potted the 3 balls he needed.
It's a long old frame, Dave, isn't it? I mean, you get to an hour and it's long, but another 16 minutes on top there. You're talking heavyweight length frames. I suppose when they're deciders, it doesn't feel so bad because you can understand why it's gone so long.
Well, all 3 frames so far, Higgins has got him first, got himself in front, hasn't killed it off. Walden took advantage in the first, not the second. 51 behind here in the third.
Higgins is very intent on protecting this 51-point lead. Not willing to take any undue risks, it seems.
Yes, as much as he went to see Alex play Jimmy when he was young, his real hero was Steve Davis, who, of course, was, well, the best player of that time and also the ultimate percentage man. And that's the game that Higgins has played to such great effect for 3 decades.
Good escape route that. That's well played. And John acknowledged that safety shot, which was shaped round nicely. Easy to hit a red on the way back up to the bulk area. Very good news here. If he can get to that right-hand red, Walden, to play safe from it, he will bring it into play. That's the one that John put there when he refused to play a red up into the green pocket earlier. When playing safe, he will bring the red out. But it's a question of getting the ball safe from here. That's another very good safety shot. And again, acknowledged by John, that's a beauty. The last 2 shots he's played have been a tremendous escapology, really, from a difficult spot.
It's going to be interesting now, isn't it? The highest ranked player left in this tournament, if you see this shot again, is Karen Wilson, who's the world number 9. Of course, Gary Wilson's the number 1 seed. He's seeded at the top of the draw. But Karen, the highest ranked player left in. Exquisite, really, from Higgins. got a good lead, but they're all kind of potable now. So he knows that. I mean, he's made so many great clearances himself. He knows Walden is up to the task. He did it in frame 1 from behind.
Yeah, the clearance is definitely on. It's just a question of where the first red comes from to make all that happen. Put John in quite a bit of trouble the last 3 shots that he's played, safety-wise. John a bit lucky there, pushing the green safe, cue ball hitting the jaw of the middle pocket.
Ding Junhui, Tom Ford just starting on table 2. It's an interesting one, that, isn't it? Because Ding beat Ford at the UK Championship, and that meant that Tom Ford, who'd worked for over 20 years to get in the top 16, was then relegated again, so we'll miss out on the Masters. Well, it's a bit wide, that, from Walden, and then you're sort of looking worried to see where it all is going to finish. It's not finished good for him.
Yeah, quite a way away from the pot there, which was not an easy pot. You would hope to at least wobble it in the jaws, but not so.
Yeah, and he's also now knocked a red onto a cushion as well. So if Higgins can pot this initial red, you'd make him heavy favourite to go on and take a 2-1 lead.
I'm not sure what he can pot here in the way of a colour. Maybe he can get through to something. Brown maybe just creeps past the yellow. Yep, it will just about go. Well, that's hard to think that the cue ball was ever going to finish there before he played the shot on the brown, but that's where it has finished. Still 75 on, so this 56-point lead, I was going to say, is not enough. It's a handy lead. Doesn't want to move the safe red up on the left there. Oh, did that reach?
Oh, and a miss.
No.
Loading it's 5. Ricky Walden full. Go,
make any contact this time. He was just trying to get a little bit on it and just touch the red. Nod his head to the referee to acknowledge that he hadn't reached. I think there was a little air shot there, which of course in golf would be a penalty, but in snooker, no, it doesn't make any difference. Touching ball, so he can just get the green out here if he wants to. Play directly onto it. As you can see, the balls are touching, so straight onto the green.
Yeah, just a sort of slight shake of the head. He has pushed it to the ball cushion. But this frame, Higgins, I think, will feel should have been over. He had the chance when Walden missed that long red. Still 52 in it with a possible 75 on. As long as he gets on this red, surely it's his frame. Well, let's see if he pots the yellow.
Yeah, and this is the kind of thing that really annoys John when he doesn't put frames away. You know, he's made all the running in this frame, and now he just could slip up right at the point where he only had to pot a couple more balls. That was pretty straightforward. That missed yellow.
One.
Yeah, it's a bit awkward now, really. I mean, he wouldn't want to play up on the yellow. But obviously the red along the cushion won't go beyond the yellow where it is, so he might have to think about potting the yellow before he tries that left-hand red by the bolt line. The other two reds, of course, also need a bit of attention. Leaving the blue over the pocket for now means red to his next colour is all about the pot. Position is assured.
It's the sort of frame you could see Higgins nicking with his great powers of clearing up. Not straightforward this, but it should have been over by now. Should have been 2-1 Higgins. Yeah, that yellow concerning. Some of those sort of misses have definitely crept into his game at times in the last year or so.
I think he's got a good idea here, Walden, because he would play potentially, if he could get the angle on this red next to the cue ball to knock the other red out, bring it off the cushion. Of course, he's got a guaranteed shot at the yellow, because unless something moves out of the yellow or the red's going to be very difficult to pot otherwise. What should be the last red. So I think... Has he got an angle? Love to push the other red off the cushion here. every reason to do it,
21.
but the angle, I'm not sure. Just off straight. Ball's width further left, maybe. Would be better. Don't think there's a wide enough angle there to get to the red.
Okay, 2.
Unlucky, but it was always going to be hard. I mean, with the yellow there, even if he moved it along the cushion towards that pocket, I'm not sure how he was ever going to finish on this.
Walden, 27.
Unlucky, tried to use all of the balls down the middle of the table to get the snooker. He's back in the frame, but maybe he could have done a little bit more with that last visit.
Foul.
Oh, goodness me. What's he done there?
Walden, 4.
Oh, that's a very John Higgins-like shot. He's absolutely opened the whole frame up. He's a little lucky, perhaps, that some of the balls have gone close to cushions, but he's got the green out. He's knocked the yellow in. Brown is still in play. Wants to hope this red doesn't drop. Well, John will be disgusted with that last shot of his. So out of character. Normally, percentage-wise, he plays all the right shots. There, he just has opened the door completely to the frame for Ricky Walden. From a position where he was always going to struggle to clear. Not so much now. If he gets on the green perfectly, then he...
5.
With an angle to get to the brown. You'd fancy him to do it. But the next shot will be the key.
7.
Well, he had to put a lot into the pot there and never got the bite on the cue ball. Now this cue ball's going to run all around the angles and the brown could be missed. In the process, he never got any backspin on this. It's the kind of shot that Judd Trump is very good at, just playing around all kinds of angles and never hitting anything on the way through. But it's very tough to execute a shot like this, to get from brown to blue with this wide angle he's got. I mean, he's got to take the cue ball all around the table. Can't hold it, no chance.
Walden 10.
Well, he's missed it, but not left anything on, so 12 points in what's turned into a very dramatic frame. John Higgins was in complete control of it at one point, 50-odd in front, ball safe. And, of course, he knocked the yellow in, left a chance at the clearance. Walden didn't come good on the brown. Well, this white is in.
Higgins 4.
Yeah, no free ball anyway. Yeah, had it gone hidden behind the black ball, it might have been. It may not make, you know, the world of difference in the end. All the topspin sent it in a strange direction.
Yeah, all it really means is Higgins now just needs the brown, but I guess, you know, the blue would have been available anyway. But he needs one ball as it stands. It's amazing how a frame that just kind of looks routine can often end up an absolute thriller. And that's what this has become. It's a big frame, this. Certainly, if Walden were to win it, there you are, 31 minutes. You have to then, well, it would be a challenge, certainly, for Higgins to get over that. Yeah, that's where it did make a difference. He could play, half play the double, half play the safety, but just needing the brown, there was value to the double. So those 4 points that Walden gave away could have made a difference there.
Well, the double kiss on those shots is kind of on. Now, can Ricky Walden get to this to pot it? It's a pretty good chance. I mean, it's not the easiest of pots. It's a natural. Yeah, that will go all right. You can definitely get enough of it. Run the cue ball off 2 cushions for the blue to the right middle. Good shot. Very good. Yes, he's wrong side of the blue, and it's one more big shot. I said that on the green, that it was all about getting from green to brown. He's got a little bit of work to do here to get on the pink correctly. Not too bad. That little bump off the right middle has helped. So
$40.
So
41.
looking very good now to take us the distance. Higgins missed that yellow to the middle. Really just needs another red here. Blue would put him 56 in front. So one more red and snooker's required. Oh, and wouldn't you know it? Wouldn't you know it?
Yeah, what a place to finish. Nothing
46.
really is available now, so he's going to have to do this in instalments because he won't win the frame here.
We saw the look of pain on his face when he didn't get on the red, just needing it for 3-3. Not been that sort of night, though. Things haven't come that easy, as I was saying earlier, when Higgins missed the yellow. It's a bit of a boot on the other foot territory, though. It's been this story for Higgins, hasn't it, getting into this sort of position tonight and not quite killing the frames off. And Walden, of course, will be well aware of John Higgins' reputation for stepping in and making the killer clearance.
Walden, 46.
And he certainly wanted that red away from the black, but of course in doing so he couldn't really be sure that he would keep it safe. He left it to the middle, but it's not the simplest of shots. But if it went in, it would be enough to very likely level the score then. Higgins would need snookers. Oh, nice. Very nice. Going all the way here, I think, behind something special from John in a comeback in this frame.
Ping pong.
A lot of shocks this week. Should John lose here, it would certainly be another.
Walden, 1. Frame conceded.
Well, a sudden concession, and it means there's one more frame to decide it. 3-3 between John Higgins and Ricky Walden here in Edinburgh. That's midnight, the deciding frame between John Higgins and Ricky Walden. 3-3, Walden winning that 6th frame. This is for a place in the last 16 against Lou Hyschen at the Scottish Open. The big names have tumbled over the first few days, including today. We lost the world champion, Luca Brissell. We lost Mark Selby, the runner-up, of course, at the Crucible last season. Ali Carter was defeated this evening as well. Is John Higgins going to survive into the last 16?
37.
Just feel if he could, and it's a big if obviously, but if he could win the decider in one visit, it almost makes all the sort of struggles earlier on just redundant. Obviously he wants to win the frame either way, but if he could take it out in one go, that would make him feel really good, I think.
$40. $41.
Well, that's a nice angle on the blue, with the reds becoming more and more invitingly placed. Well, as Dave said, it would be heartening for John to get this frame and match one here.
46.
In contrast to the other frames, he always feels something could go wrong, but he is looking more assured now than he has for a while. Still only 46 on the board. Is still 83 points left on the table, so he's not anywhere near there yet.
Yeah, it's a great effort so far. He's one of those players, Higgins, you know, he could retire tomorrow and his career legacy would be intact, but of course he doesn't want to retire tomorrow. He wants to keep going as long as he can at the top level.
47.
So it'll be 53 the lead with the pink. It's a couple more reds needed. He's just plotting the course here to get this one. Now then, is he on anything here? Looking at a potential plant.
53.
Yeah, he doesn't really want to play either of those, I don't think. The top plant of the two, perhaps. But he was disappointed. That was all he had, I think. This plant looks very gettable. The bottom two, much more difficult. And then there's this cut back red he could think about into the right corner, which would take the risk of a plant out of the equation, at least.
This plant is not dissimilar to, well, he's not playing it, actually. I was going to say Ricky Walden took one on, didn't make it earlier on.
Yeah, I think he may come back to it, you know. It looks sort of much of a muchness, these two different options. Very different shots, but both he would fancy getting.
$54.
Still plenty of points on. 67 left on the table. This is the shot. Walden was very interested in where the cue ball was going to end up. As you can roll up here behind the green and bring Walden back onto the table with, well, a winning chance, but even then probably in a snooker.
Well, it's three choices, isn't it? He could take the brown on, he could roll up, or he could put a colour on the cushion.
Can't decide. He's been like this throughout the break. He's been wrestling with two or three different choices. It's not been a fluent break, but you know, he's still in the process of making it. 54, hard earned. I think he's going to take the option you said, Dave, put the ball safe here.
Yeah, it just gives you, in theory, a bit of insurance. So it's really been the pattern of the night. He's not quite got over the line. He's in a strong position, yes, but he's lost a couple of frames tonight where he's been in this sort of position. But 54 the lead with a possible 67 on, yellow safe.
One Snooker to tie, so I think he's going to go for it. I don't think he is, but if he was to, it would be with a high value colour. I think he's trying to screw him behind the green here. I think that's what he's doing, yeah. Oh, what a shot. What a shot. It wouldn't have deserved the red to go in. Well, this is a pretty unpleasant business, this snooker. Yeah, it's pretty horrible. I mean, he could hit it and pot it, game over, but he could easily miss it.
Yeah, she was celebrating a minute ago, wasn't she, that lady? Yeah, there's sort of flirting with that middle pocket as well, the white, you know, he could go in off. There's all sorts of things could happen here. So, big moment this in the decider.
Yeah, because, of course, the red, if he misses it, is very much on. It's hanging over the pocket almost. Nasty little shot, this, straight into a cushion. He could easily miss this. And he has missed it. Wow.
Walden full.
How about that?
Another twist.
Needs a pink or black with this. Nothing else will do.
Begging that white to hold up.
Yeah, it's not too bad. Not too bad.
Well, of course, a while ago, Higgins put that yellow on the cushion for this very reason. Oh, he's missed the black. Wow. Having got the snooker, trying to get on the yellow, he misses the black, and he's going over to shake hands. So in the end, it was a rather sudden conclusion. A dramatic match, a dramatic decider, to the delight, though, of the John Higgins supporters here, who have stayed until the bitter end. 1:45 in the morning, Higgins has got the match won 4-3 and advances to the last 16.